What's up, design family, and welcome back to another episode of Fittdesign TV. So glad to have you back on the channel. On today's episode, we have the start of a mini series. We'll be looking at specific terminology that every designer should be using. That way you can have an educated conversation, whether it's with other designers, with your customers, or with the factory. On today's episode, we'll be looking at the term color fastness. This is definitely a term that you will have heard of before if you've been working with textiles and have most likely custom dyed them. But what does this term mean and what implications can it have over your collection? That's exactly what we're going to be discussing in today's short episode. Hey guys, and welcome to Fittdesign TV. So glad to have you here. On this channel, we discuss all things sports fashion, graphic design, manufacturing, and technology. We'll discuss key topics, answer pressing questions, and provide actionable steps on starting your own product line. If you're interested in any of the above topics, stick around. You're in for a good one. In short, color fastness is essentially the ability of a dye to retain its color on a fabric over time. When we consider color fastness, we're essentially mentioning or evaluating how well the dye itself is maintaining its tonality, its saturation, and its vibrancy on the fabric over a specific period of time. And there are 4 key ways that we measure color fastness. Number 1 is going to be light fastness. This is when a dye loses its color simply by being exposed to the UV rays of sunlight or any other types of light. This is an extremely low level of color fastness and is extremely undesirable in everyday apparel for obvious reasons. Number 2 on our list is gas fastness. This is observed when the dye loses its color once it's exposed to the fumes that are a result of the dry cleaning process. So when we dry clean garments, obviously because of the term dry cleaning, we're actually using specific gases to help clean the fabrics. There are specific types of dyes that are non-resistant to this gas and will lose their color over time, and that's why you see specific products that may tell you not to dry clean them. Number 3 is going to be wash fastness. This phenomenon is observed when a dye loses its color once it's exposed to water. Again, this is an extremely undesirable trait for a fabric to have, especially in sportswear, where moisture and kind of like water management are going to be a big part of the experience of the apparel. Just imagine every time you sweat on your pair of leggings, the color would run away. That's definitely not something that you'd like to have. Number 4 and last on our list is rub fastness. This is observed when a dye loses its color simply as a result of abrasion or friction on the surface of the fabric. A very easy way to test for this is either through the process of wet or dry crocking. Well, that is it, guys. That is a wrap on today's episode. Hopefully you have a better idea of what color fastness is. And if you guys want to see more short episodes like this where we go over key fashion terms, let us know which terms you want us to cover in the comments below. I know when I started in the industry, there are a lot of terms that I was unsure of, and I would have loved to have a series like this to outline them. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Fittdesign TV. Until next week's episode, stay awesome.